Hey everybody, we're back again on a Sunday, the 15th, and let's recap from last week. We had got our first, what's it called? Major Arcana card, which was the Wheel of Fortune, and we covered a great deal of karmic results in our lives and what karma really is and how that presents in our lives, how we can involve ourselves in a better way to create good karma versus bad karma and all that jazz. And it was really interesting for me to then go into the work week and see how, unbeknownst to the average people around me, how much karma was really in play. Not just at work, but I mean just in life in general, and just experiences that were happening around me and people that were sharing their experiences with me. There were a lot of people that also shared their experiences with me knowing that we spoke about karma. And it just, again, man, tarot, it's real. It's real. It fascinates me how on point it can be. And I also had a lot of people, I mentioned how Saturn has entered into Aries, and that fucking Big Daddy Saturn is bitch slapping people. Bitch slapping. Just, how does it work? You go, Saturn isn't doing discipline. This is discipline. It's doing abuse. It's fucking slapping y'all silly. We knew it was coming. Coming up this, I think on Tuesday, we are entering into Fire Horse season, and we have a solar eclipse. Not here, I don't think we're seeing the eclipse, but in the world there's an eclipse happening, and it's in Aquarius. I know a lot of people that are much more knowledgeable about astrology are very, woo-hoo about this one. I'm not going to get into eclipse energy, except that it is significant. It definitely is a catalytic kind of energy. So, you may find that within these windows of now, I think eclipse energy can last 6 months before and especially after the eclipse happened. So a lot of changes are on the pipeline or coming down the pipeline. And hopefully changes you guys are experiencing are more just little disciplinary smacks and not full on abuse. Just careful. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So today's deck is brought to you by mushrooms. This is a really cute deck, and it's actually accurate. So it's like a field guide to mushrooms, and I thought it was going to be just like cutesy drawings, and when I started using it, I was like, oh, these are actually anatomically, or I don't know what's the word for it, but scientifically accurate, and like the Latin names and everything, because I was like, oh my god, it's very Taurian of me. I love it. So let's see. We had karma come up. We had the Wheel of Fortune. Lot of weird energy going on around us right now. So let's just dive right in, guys. Let's dive right in. I looked at the timer right now, and it was at 3:33. For all of you that know me well, that meant something. 3:33, baby. Let's do it. All right. 5 shuffle. Fuck you too. All right, come on. Oh no. Well, fire's still here, but fire is here in its in Big Daddy Saturn form. So this is the 5 of Wands. Now it's obviously these cute little mushrooms. What are these? These are the orange pinwheel mushrooms, the Marasmius siccus. Yes, siccus. Oh my god, it's so cute though. Wow, so 5 of Wands, guys. 5 of Wands. Again, Wands and tarot is fire. So here we are. Are we ever going to come out of this fire? Probably not. 5 of Wands is in Rider-Waite Tarot is 5 different people, each of them with a big wand or rod in their hands, and they look like they're fighting. They either are fighting, some can perceive it as it's competition, but it's essentially a card of conflict, a card of competitiveness, a card of coming up and meeting resistance with other people, So this is definitely Big Daddy Saturn coming in to say hi to us right now, being in Aries. And he is picking up the slack from being in Pisces for so long, just as his brethren Neptune was, who stepped into Aries a little while back. So they're now together, BFFs in their fire elements, and kicking the shit out of us. Now, it's not all bad, but again, I cannot reiterate enough that this is the shake 'em up, make them or break and make them or break them vibe right now, collectively. We tend to get complacent in where we are in our lives. And I know I keep hammering in that, if there are changes that you need to make or things that you've been avoiding, this is, again, just that trend of you can drag your feet, you can keep dragging your feet, you can keep dragging your feet. But Saturn in Aries is essentially going to let you keep dragging your feet, but it's going to amp up the speed you're being drug. And so you're essentially being ripped across the surface instead of like a slow little dragging your feet and being like, oh, I don't know. Five of Wands energy is very much seeing whether you have a competitiveness within yourself, that you are finding a rigidity of you not wanting to or struggling with certain things because you feel like you're not measuring up to something. It could also be that there's inner conflict. And for me, I personally, as a tarot reader, see this card as very much inner conflict, which tracks for a lot of us, and collectively. My God, is there conflict collectively. So this is definitely resonating with me as far as just that inner conflict, that inner voice. Oh my gosh, this totally tracks with where my brain is going right now, because the last time we did this last week, I really had this like feeling about our own inner critic and how we tend to dumb down our own thoughts, or we tend to, talk ourselves out of a choice or out of a decision we really want to or intuitively know we should make. Inner conflict is a real strife in life and just our daily day-to-days, because with a lot of our history, no matter what your story may be from your past, that inner conflict, whether it's generational, whether it's, something you've picked up over just a few years, or it's something you've carried with yourself all your life, that inner conflict has stagnated a lot of us. And again, Big Daddy, he's smacking us out of that. He's smacking some sense into us, and a lot of it is making us face that inner conflict. Not so much just, oh hey, pull the trigger already, you ass, get moving, but it's more that inner conflict, that friction is getting more and more frictional, making up words. But it's getting to the point where that friction is going to start to make smoke, and then that smoke is going to start to turn into flame, and we know where that goes from there. And that is that energy, that energy of everything moving into Aries, these big planets, is essentially saying like, all right, you can keep fighting against yourself. You can keep banging your head against that wall. You can keep dragging your feet. You can keep doing whatever you're doing. But I'm going to make it so hard for you that you're going to have to do something. Like, you're going to have to make a choice. And here we are. Like, this very much is the card of conflict and shit or get off the pot kind of stuff. And I'm really, I almost feel like I'm a broken record at this point, because we just keep getting the same kind of energy coming into these reads. So I don't know if there's someone sitting out there that needs to fucking make a decision. I don't, whoever you are, make it so we can get beyond this and talk about other things. But in all seriousness, this is a time of massive conflict collectively. And conflict will not resolve itself. unless change is made by the participants in this conflict. And that is you, that is him, that is her, that is the collective. Change is scary. Saying this so many times, it is so scary, especially for particular people out there, and whatever that change may look like. Some can be super insignificant as, oh, I really need to get a new car, to others are like, my God, I'm not sure if I'm ready to make this large move in my career or my relationship or whatever. It's scary, because change, as much as we like to think we are in control, we're not. We can make the best choices and make the best decisions we possibly can, but if we are listening to the conflict and letting the conflict make those decisions for us, there's that wheel, that karmic wheel. It's going to keep going in the direction that does not produce positive results. And so I really feel that with this fire energy, it is literally lighting a fire under our ass. It really is. And it's going to make it so uncomfortable that we are going to have to move. We can't be the frog in the slow boiling pot of water and just sit there and just not do anything about it. Like, no, we're literally going to be held over a flame. And this inner conflict is so restrictive. It's restrictive, and it's easy to believe, especially if it's something you've known all your life, or if it's something you've been taught is normal, or if you think, no, this is the way it should feel. Like, no, it's normal to feel uncomfortable about this, or it's normal for me to, feel upset all the time. It's par for the course. That's what it's not really. It's not. It's not a discomfort. I'm not going to disagree with that. Discomfort is part of life, and sometimes discomfort is what makes us change. But we can normalize discomfort. We can condition ourselves to think that that is the norm. And inner conflict is one of those discomforts that we're very good at conditioning ourselves to think that's normal. And, it's really strange to me, some of the circumstances, stories people have shared with me, and some of the situations people have been in for years. And they're so conditioned and so used to it that they think that's the norm, and that's healthy. It's okay. And then from an outside perspective, you're like, what are you doing? No, that's not okay. That's not normal. That's unhealthy. That's dangerous. That's abusive. That's this, that's that. Like, so I think Saturn's going to come in and be that person that's like, no, this isn't normal. Like, oh, you thought it was normal when I was in Pisces because I was wearing a cloak and I was all hidden. And, Pisces likes to be all like amicable and malleable and be like, okay, I'll do whatever you say, like that kind of shit. And like now we're in Aries where it's like, no, I'm not going to do any more what you say. Fuck you. Bye. So yeah, that's the inner conflict within us that we tend to normalize whenever we are faced with having to make a choice and make change. And change is scary. But let's tie this back into what was that? The Wheel of Fortune last week. We can make change, and change, yes, is discomforting. It's uncomfortable. But if we take the actions to look within ourselves, like I always say, and move forward on making a choice that takes us out of that repetitive loop, change, no matter what direction you take it, if you follow your intuitive guidance, if you listen to your gut, just really listen to your gut. Like, we all have that, whether you want to woo-woo it and call it intuition or just listen to your gut. Like, again, we are still primitive animals. We have that fight or flight response in us. We have a gut. We have that instinctual pull in our gut when we know we have to make a choice, especially something that is sudden or disruptive or uncomfortable. And my point is, I got hair in my mouth, sorry. My point is that you can either do the change yourself, and it's just a little disciplinary slap from the universe, or you can stay stagnant in your conflict and get straight up abused. 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 I am so illiterate tonight. Maybe I got abused too much. Yeah, I'm making this short and sweet, guys, because this is just fucking repetitive shit. So somebody out there, please make a change. Please do something. Maybe it's the collective, y'all. Can we just all put a little blip in the universe and be like, can we get shit or get off the pot here and make some change so that we can collectively move forward out of this repetitive warning we keep getting? Like, these are all subtle warnings of make a change. Come on. We can't stay stuck anymore. We cannot stay stuck anymore. I mean, honestly, I'm sure next week, watch, we'll end up getting like the Hanged Man or something for Pisces season, and the Hanged Man is the epitome of being stuck and, going inward. So, mark my words, if I get that next week, I'm out. No, not really. But yeah, we need to unstuck ourselves, and we need to listen to what our gut is telling us. Stop being afraid. Stop being conflicted. Stop being worried about what the change may look like and how's it going to unfold in the future. And because you don't have control over that. You have control of the choices you make at that very moment, and that is it. You can't control how they unfold. You can't control the long term, the short term. You can just control what you're doing here and here. And if you don't unstick yourself, if you don't come out of that inner conflict and you start, or if you don't shut up those inner critics that just are constantly going off in your head, well, my darling, then stay stuck. Then stay on that toilet and never take that shit. That sounds really unpleasant, honestly. I'm gonna have to look up what the orange pinwheel is and see what relevance it has to the Five of Wands. I don't know. I haven't tried to make a connection of the mushrooms and like what they're assigned to in each card. So yeah, short and sweet, guys, because this is getting old real quick. This fire energy just keeps coming in and telling us to get the hell off our high horses and get cracking. That's all I got. I love you guys, and I'll see you in another week.